Hello, my name is Daniel Yuck. Thank you for watching today. I appreciate your time and support. In today's video, I want to share with you how to go about starting tattoo lines. Should you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. By the end of this video, you will be well acquainted with knowing how to start tattooing lines. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring my bell, as I will be bringing more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as my YouTube channel. I have Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, all under Daniel Yuck. I would appreciate the support over there as well. With that being said, let's get right on into this. For this demonstration, I am going to be using a small piece of Reelskin fake skin. I have Scotch shop wipes right here. I'm going to be using the Mast Archer 2 tattoo machine. I'm also going to be using a CNC Police standard 9-round shader, and I'm also using Phantom tattoo gloves. I will leave my Amazon affiliate and other affiliate links for you in the description below, so you can check out the gear featured in this video on your end. When it comes to starting tattoo lines, there are a couple of important variables that I am considering before I commit and apply the line. When I'm applying the tattoo line, I do feel like the way that we introduce the line to the skin is going to be of the utmost importance, and this isn't a variable that we should overlook when applying lines, and I'm going to explain why. The way that we introduce our lines into the skin is going to determine the read and look of the final results. So what I am saying is, if I'm going to be tattooing and I introduce a line where I just simply place the needle down and begin to apply the line, where I place the needle down originally is going to have a more of a rounder, bolder circle, and if not texture or scarring going on right here where I introduce the needle and I drag this way. So the introduction of needle to skin is going to be very important. We really want to avoid introducing the needle straight away, the way I was just showing you right here. So let's say if I was going to tattoo and I place the needle straight down and then begin to tattoo. Again, where I start is going to have more of a rounder finish to it than a sharp tight finish, the same line weight as the rest of the line that I'm creating. Allow me to demonstrate what I am saying here real time so we can get an idea of introducing a line to skin incorrectly. So I'm going to moisturize the area lightly, and then I'm going to begin by incorrectly introducing this line. So let's say if I'm going to start like so, and then I begin going this way. Granted, this is on fake skin, so the settling of ink into skin is not going to be the same or as apparent as it would on human skin. However, we can still see the difference right here even on fake skin. So you can see where I introduce the line, we have a more of a rounder finish right here as opposed to a sort of tapered in finish. For me personally, when this happens, you're gonna notice, and I guess we as the artists kind of see all the imperfections within tattoos, we're gonna notice this area right here, and that is because the introduction to skin was incorrect. Again, when we introduce the needle, you never want to introduce the needle straight away like so and then begin the line. That's not how we want to do it. I'm going to demonstrate doing an introduction to skin wrong one more time, and then I'll talk a little bit about how we would want to introduce needle to skin. So here we go, and this is going to be an incorrect introduction. So you can see I just simply placed the needle down and went straight away to applying the line. However, this area right here is always going to be more inconsistent than the rest of the line weights. Keep in mind, human skin, ink settles into human skin. So when that happens, this right here is going to change. This area right here is going to have a different line weight than the rest of the line that we just applied. This is what we want to stay away from. Let me do one more incorrect introduction here, and then we can switch on over to the correct way that I would go about applying a line. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to abruptly start the introduction on the line by placing the needle straight down, and then once I feel the needle is catched, I'm going to begin applying the rest of the line. So it's important to understand that when I'm introducing the needle into the skin, the needle is spending a significantly more amount of time in this area right here than it is on any part of the line. What that means is when this area heals right here, this area is going to bold out a lot more, and the integrity of the line weight is going to fluctuate from a smaller line weight to a thicker line weight simply because ink settles into human skin. And even through the fake skin right here, you can see that there is a tremendous tremendous difference between these areas that we start on versus these areas over here. I would say all of these have incorrect introductions. I would say this is exactly what we want to stay away from when we are applying lines. Allow me to show you how I would correctly introduce needle to skin. So for me personally, it's going to be a simple technique that I use almost every, if not every single tattoo that I do, which is tapering in. So when we introduce the needle to skin, what I would prefer to do is taper in, so that way we don't meet and introduce the needle to the skin in an abrupt manner like so. So what that looks like is to taper in. I'm going to start a little bit before where my line is, and then I gradually taper in like so, allowing my needle to catch like so. This would avoid a harsh introduction from the needle to the skin, and this will also help to keep the initial line weight integrity throughout the entire line by simply tapering in. So you want to get comfortable, identify your point A to B, and then taper the needle in like so. So you can see how it's dragging and we're not fully committed to the line. And then you can commit once you're ready like so. That taper in really does make all of the difference. So let's say if I'm going to identify A and then B, I'm going to taper in before the line, and then I'm going to commit to the line until I've reached my point B, like so. That is how I go about applying all of my lines. That is how I introduce my lines to any skin, whether it's fake skin or human skin. I feel like it's important to understand that that introduction really does have a tremendous impact on the final reads of our tattoos. If we're abruptly introducing the needle to the skin throughout the entire tattoo, every time we put the needle down, it's going to show these imperfections, and again, over time they are going to warp, they are going to bleed into the skin, and they will bulge out. We have to be really mindful of the way that we are introducing the needle to the skin. So again, I'm going to get comfortable, I'm going to taper in after I've identified my point A to B into the line like so. So I taper in and then I commit to the line. You could even taper out if need be. And you get the idea. This way I do get one clean, consistent line weight without any harsh starting or end points. That right there is of the utmost importance. Again, that is going to stay true to the integrity of the line weight throughout the entire tattoo, which is going to provide a better quality read. So you can see the last line that I created is far more cleaner than these lines over here. Even on the fake skin, you can see how abrupt these starting points are. Allow me to share with you a couple of more demonstrations here. So this is going to be the way that I would correctly introduce a needle to the skin. Again, as I've mentioned, moisturize the skin, identify point A to B, make sure we taper in like so, and you can see that the beginning of the line has a sort of like tapered look there, and that's what I want. I want that tapered look at the beginning versus this rounded bulby look right there. And you can see I'm still getting nice, clean, consistent, saturated lines. What's even better is that my starting and end points are going to stay true to the line weight integrity, which is not going to have many fluctuations throughout my design. When we have different line weight fluctuations, it doesn't necessarily read the best, which is why we want to try to go for the best consistency that we can provide for each and every line that we create. Allow me to demonstrate what incorrect introduction to skin or needle to skin looks like. So let's say if I'm going to incorrectly introduce the needle to the skin, it's going to look something like this. So you're going to notice how I abruptly just put the needle down like so, straight away, let the needle catch, and then I apply the line. So each one of these points where it's touching down at, all of those are going to bulge out over time. This area is going to look more like this when these heal, as opposed to a nice, clean, consistent line weight. This area is certainly going to bulge out and settle in when it settles into the human skin. It's going to settle in and may even blur into each other depending on the design that we did. This is kind of the results that we are going to get right here when we abruptly introduce the needle to the skin. You can see that's very abrupt. I deposited way more pigment on this point right here than I did throughout any section of this line right here, which is why we're going to get these areas right here looking like balls when this ink settles into the skin. Here is a visual demonstration of what the ink would look like once it settles into human skin. Granted, this is fake skin, which is why I'm just showing you a demonstration of some of the results that we can anticipate if this was done on human skin. You're going to notice that all of these points right here where the needle originally touched down has a sort of bulb circle to it, and it is a lot more thicker than the rest of the line weight. This right here is what causes inconsistencies. This right here I feel would diminish the quality of any tattoo. If we are using a certain line weight, then the line weight should be consistent from point A through B throughout the entire tattoo, and there shouldn't be these sort of fluctuations. Keep in mind that these fluctuations only happen when the technical application is not correct. What that means is if we are experiencing these sort of issues, it is going to be 110% on the artist and not the client. Allow me to demonstrate for you the correct introduction for needle to human or to skin here. And this right here is what a correct introduction would look like. So I'm going to identify my point A to B. I'm going to taper in like so, and then I commit to the line as you see me doing here. And I repeat that on every single line that I pull, like so. Now again, you can see how these taper ins have a sort of like sharp point to them. This right here is exactly what I want. This is what I am going for. Let's say if the other line was around here, then that's where I would have started. I'll go ahead and talk about that here in a moment. But right now, this right here is what I am going for. I want to taper in. I want to avoid any sort of harsh, abrupt starting points to prevent this from happening. When this heals, this is going to settle in and bold out to the rest of the line weight integrity, which is going to give us fewer fluctuations than we would have got with this sort of technical application. Now, here's another little thing that I want to talk about. Where we taper in is very important. So let's say, for example, this is a part of the design right here that we're going to have to be lining off of and tapering off of. What I need to do is I start my taper a little bit before the line. So for example, if I'm going to taper from this way, I'm going to taper slightly right here like so, as you see me doing. And then I'm going to bring the lines out this way as we would. That's how we would approach doing multiple lines with the correct introduction. You can see I'm tapering in slightly, which is going to avoid any sort of bulbing from happening right here in this area. You can also see that I didn't cross over to this side right here. I just focused on where I wanted my tapering to begin and where I needed to end, identifying that point A to B. Taper in like so, commit to the line, and we can taper out. This right here ensures that I get clean healing results and the line weights all stay true to the neighboring lines around, which is super important. What I would recommend is to build the comfortability up. If you're not comfortable with tapering in your lines, then I would recommend getting a piece of fake skin and literally just practicing lines where you taper in and out. I also have a full in-depth video on tapering in and out that you can check out. It is available on my channel. I'll go ahead and card it up for you above as well. But that's where I would begin. I would begin by focusing on my tapering in and out. Once I've mastered and get comfortable with those sort of motions, now I can begin applying that fundamental to my designs. And this is basically how I would go about doing that. When we introduce a needle to the skin, we always want to be mindful of that introduction. We never want to introduce it abruptly, harshly like so. We want to taper it in. I'm going to use this design that is available in a step-by-step follow-along on my Patreon. Now, this design right here had many areas where things could have gone wrong. This design right here has so many areas where I could have bulbed the beginning of the lines. This design has so many introductions that a lot could have gone wrong, which is why I would recommend to practice tapering in and out on fake skin. Once you get comfortable, begin applying it to designs. But you're going to notice that on all of these areas, for example, right here where these lines meet the thicker line, all of these could have been bulby and they could have fluctuated in line weight from the remaining line weight here and the neighboring line weight. as you can see, where every point meets essentially right here. We have a point meeting right here, point meeting right here, and there's just so many to count in the video, but every single point was approached with a correct introduction of tapering in and out where necessary. Right here is an introduction, right here. You can see all of these starting points right here don't have any bulbs going on because the technical application that I'm explaining here in this video was applied to this entire tattoo. If I'm not mindful of those introductions from needle to skin, then I'm gonna get these sort of results as I've explained here in this video. So introduction of needle to skin is very, very important, and it's something that we are gonna use each and every single tattoo that we do, whether it is a back tattoo, an arm tattoo, a micro tattoo. It's very, very important how we conduct ourselves when introducing the needle to the skin. Now, should you have any questions at all, I'm gonna encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. That'll be it to conclude this video. I genuinely appreciate your time and I thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring my bell, as I will be bringing a lot more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as my YouTube. I have Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, all under Daniel Yuck. I would appreciate the support over there as well. With that being said, I appreciate your time and I genuinely thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.